Come one, come all to the first official game of 6.80. I said 0.2. A competitive Dota. I'm so excited. I can't even handle numbers, dude. This is
historic.
This is it. This is it. It just dropped in the middle of this series. Now, this is sort of unfortunate for these teams. Navi US, one game away from elimination, and the ball game is completely changed. Yeah. We're not even playing Dota
I
anymore.
don't even know what the hell to expect out of this. I think we should just go right into the draft to see, because look at it already. Look at that guy down there at the bottom. Terrorblade. Well, he's made his debut into Captain's mode, but immediately first ban potential as it goes. And also the Death Prophet going to be gone Lycan, so it seems like teams are kind of sticking with the tried and true, which is something I kind of expected, Zari. I mean, you know, a lot of these teams, they haven't really had much time like anyone to really practice their 6.82 and their new, hero lineups. And maybe it's better to just go with the heroes that might have been nerfed, but you're much more experienced with, than these new heroes that might be better on paper, but you don't really know how to play.
Yeah. Now, the heroes to keep an eye out for, Legion Commander now in Captain's mode. She's a big one. Terrorblade, of course, as we've already seen, banned out. Chen also getting those big changes now where she can take over the Ancients when she gets an Ag Scepter. In context of the heroes that have been picked up, most of them are somewhat similar. Vengeful Spirit had a minor buff to the Nether Swap range in the early levels. Viper, Corrosive no longer procs on global damage. There's a range now for Corrosive Skin to actually take a difference. What happened to old Centaur? I think he had a...
I think he had a small nerf,
if
I remember correctly. Now, we have the patch notes up on the side. We want to make sure that we remind everyone and even ourselves, what to expect here with each of these heroes coming in.
Yeah, minor Stampede and mana cost increase from 80 to 100. So far, all these heroes are pretty similar. Brewmaster, Primal Split, Earth Spirit's Pulverized damage type changed from magical that pierces spell immunity to magical that no longer goes through BKB.
But we have to remember, it's not just about the heroes. Things are going to look quite crazy when we get into the game because, Roche has found a new real estate spot and a new pit just a little bit down into the southeast region. We got a new rune that's going to be on the field that we're going to have to try to keep track of. Teams are going to be fighting over that and, even trying to remember that they even exist in the game. This is going to be a very interesting game. And like you said, for this to be Navi US's, potential last game here in Starladder, it's going to be rough, and it's match point for Sneaky Nyx Assassins.
Yeah, definitely so. Now, there are a couple other key changes worth mentioning. A lot of things, HP removal is no longer in the game. So things like the Vengeful Spirit Scream, things like Urn of Shadows, now doing pure damage. They will interrupt things like a Blink Dagger, and that's a big buff to Urn sort of indirectly against Blink Dagger heroes. So we may see an increase in Urns, and, I guess it's relevant for Vengeful Spirit here that she's been picked up. You can also knock off things like Healing Salves, Clarity Potions, now that it does damage rather than HP removal.
Yeah, real interesting, and obviously these teams really taking their time as far as what to exactly pick up here. No Legion Commander going to be grabbed just yet, but more or less the team's kind of just going with the old tried and true and what's worked. They get rid of the Shadow Shaman. They don't want to hand over Navi US the advantage on that dire side, and Nature's Prophet going to be our next pickup here for the side of the Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Do want to apologize, they don't have their team logo up. There is still some bugs here and there. Yeah, I can't even use my precious little emoticons at the moment, so I'm sure Valve will start implying little hot fixes to kind of fix the little problems.
Yeah, so Prophet was nerfed a little bit. Treants lost their magic resistance from 20% down to 0, so now a little more susceptible to things like a Hoof Stomp.
Maybe they're going to go with some sort of new cliff jungling. That was implied in the new map or something. We've seen people pull out crazy stuff like that. I mean, you got to remember, there's new warding spots that they have to kind of figure out and put down.
The bounty runes, forget about it.
Yeah, there's paths, like now the Radiant off lane is more susceptible to getting ganked through the secret shop and that new little path right there. I just expect that these games are going to be a lot more action-packed. At least, I hope I'm not jinxing it right now, but the pressure's on these teams to really sweat it out through this draft and just really try to take advantage of this new patch as much as possible. Wisp is going to be the third pickup right now for Navi US. As far as patch goes, he wasn't touched.
I don't think he was. I'm almost positive. I didn't see any Wisp
Tony
changes,
combo was unscathed in 6.82, so I mean, I guess that works to their benefit. You got to remember that these second-tier pickups, whether it be off-laners or supports that were kind of like maybe situational, when you have more of these top-tier supports that have been nerfed down, those situational supports or situational off-laners become just that much better. So that's something else that you also need to consider.
Yeah, I'm still really hoping for a Chen pick, though. That's the one I want to see with an Aghanim's upgrade. I want to see the Ancients. I want to see them. I want to see those big Drakes.
I want to see it too,
down some towers.
The reality is, unless you're putting Chen in some sort of crazy farm position, which there are some players out there, there your Ake, your Owies and stuff that can really take advantage of your jungle and get that much farm that quick, but you know, you still got to get the essentials. I mean, but then again, I say that, and I'm like, oh, Mech is an essential, but Mech was even recently nerfed down. But we got that new item as well. What is it?
The Crimson Guard. Yeah, Vanguard plus Buckler plus an 800-ish recipe.
Yeah.
It basically is those two items combined.
It works
you get a
like
Vanguard buff for your team.
It's like active. A pipe for physical damage.
Yes, 100% chance to block 50 physical damage for 9 seconds, I believe, was the buff. So a pretty good item.
I don't know who will be utilized on best here. I mean, it could be
that's the question.
It could be a Centaur grab. This is a guy who wants to be takey. You know, he gets his Vanguards and you know from time to time, and well, it's something he could consider going for if they want to kind of go with some full force assault here. And yeah, Enigma, the 4th grab here for Sneaky Nick.
You mentioned a potential tiny Wisp, but I was thinking, okay, Wisp, Legion Commander.
This is the debut of the first Captain Mode tournament of Legion Commander coming onto the field. We were curious if we were going to see it, and well, there it is. And for Navi US, I hope they have someone who knows how to play this hero.
Yeah, so for Enigma, now Midnight Pulse does pure damage. It's still percentage-based, but instead of magical, it's pure damage, so just a straight through, which is, I guess you could call it a buff. Good news for Enigma. And Legion Commander, her biggest change available in Captain's Mode, of course, but the big one is Duel no longer disables passive. That was sort of a change across the board, like Chronosphere, for example. So now it doesn't disable evasion, stuff like that. Was a general nerf towards her, and then overwhelming odds and press the attack both had some slight tweaks. Press the attack, mana cost increased, levels 1 through 3, and overwhelming odds had its damage rescaled down just a bit. Oh, McGee.
Now he got a nice buff. His HP regen went up quite a bit. You have a much better chance of getting your ×2 multicast. But to be honest, in my own opinion, I don't think the hero is competitive worthy. I mean, you still have well, I mean, you get a BKB, and what else is he going to do? His late game is still not the best ever, but if you do pull off a nice early game roll and you can get those pickoffs and snowball, he can get it done. The fact of the matter is now as a support, he already had one of the best armor starts in the game. It was something like 8 armor, so he can go up now with that extra regen, get a few smacks in with his club and walk back and still be fine.
I think he could be viable as an offlaner now. He's one of few heroes that has that awesome base regeneration up from 0.25 to 2.5. So he's pretty meaty. He's pretty meaty indeed. But
this is so funny because we can't really theory crowd. I don't know what the hell they're gonna pick.
Yeah,
you know, what if Navi US gets like the Pugna and takes advantage of the new ultimate draining together with Wisp's tether? You know,
that could be an option.
A lot of people were talking about that. Something we see for Sneaky Nick's Assassins. They got 2 different kinds of junglers-ish. So it's like they could have already plotted something ahead of time, and they're like, okay, well, in case the patch does drop on a Thursday, like you see, we got to be ready to have something under our belt. And I was talking with one of the players, and they felt that they weren't too worried, but they might have been bluffing. As for both teams, you know, these are a bit unusual as far as drafts go. I mean, maybe it's a little more cliche on the side of Sneaky Nick's Assassins here, but man, oh man, this is exciting stuff.
It really is. I'm on the edge of my seat to see how the Sneaky Nick's Assassins round out this draft. Remember, I guess worth iterating, there are a couple of stand-ins, but for Na'Vi, they've got somebody new. Pink Panda, that is way too tagged up under a silly name, replacing Derp Derp, or pardon me, not Derp Derp. Who was their 5th? That wasn't MJW. Who was their other stand-in? Gix, that's it. So Way 2 will be here in the place of Gix, which is a big increase for Navi US. And same lineup for the Sneaky Nick's Assassins. Whitebeard and Derp Derp will be here in the place of Way 2, quite obviously.
And like we said last time, it's a bit unfortunate that they have to fall back on some of these stand-ins. This is a very important game. It's their Starladder lives on the line. Winner is going to be moving on into the finals to face EG, who have already secured their spot. Then the winner goes on to Kiev.
Yes, absolutely. So Invoker picked up not a huge amount of stuff changed on him, just Tornado. The Vision, Flying Vision, got nerfed down to about half, and the damage, I guess it was an increase. It was 2 times Wex plus Quas, now it's just 3 times Wex. So I think that's a damage buff to the Tornado, at least in the early levels, perhaps not in the later levels, but still the same old Invoker we've come to love and enjoy. Navi US, they'll need their second support, and I really feel like the sky's the limit. Maybe Keeper of the Light. He got some buffs, huh?
Oh, please, Iori. Keeper Light's not going to be any good, but yeah, he did get buffs. Mana Leak is much more of a primary first pick, but no, it's going to be Earthshaker, and that's, I would imagine, going to be Korok. No, Way 2 picks it up. Way 2's a fantastic Earthshaker as well. We saw some big plays from him, even in the International 4. He did that amazing play that myself and Mott got to cast where he stole the Aegis and stole the Roshan kill with an epically placed Fisher. You know, I know Korok personally is also a big Earthshaker advocate, but he is going to be taking the reins of the Legion Commander. So Korok will be the first Legion Commander in tournament play of 6.82.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Don't blow it, Korok.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure. Earthshaker, very minor changes again. The initial echo is no longer pierces BKB. That's the big thing. It's all magical damage now, no more piercing. So conceptually similar. Just
look at this map, Iori. This is something else. Let's take a moment to just kind of scan through if anyone was living in the dark for the past couple of days. And
first one, thrones are elevated now, so well camping a little more difficult. You've got that uphill miss chance, all that good stuff. But here's the big one: Roshan's new home. He's hanging out in this kind of funky pit over here. So now you've got these cool little areas above the fiery waterfall that you can kind of utilize to stalk over the pit and jump on people. Dire Ancients now spawn in this little gully here. So there's just a whole new way of it. Another ramp coming in this way, and this is the part of the map that by far got the most changes, I think.
Yep, and you know, we'll see how each of these teams can really try to utilize these big map changes. I mean, for me, I didn't even play the test client at all, so I have no first-hand experience playing on this map. I don't know if these players had the opportunity to play in the test client to scrim it about. I know that I've heard some teams that did get some early scrims in on the test client, but you know, we don't have that kind of information to know of just how much practice they have. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, Fogged has a ward right here. We'll see. This is a whole new ward territory here in the bottom of the river. I don't know where the hell he's going to put this thing, but hopefully he makes it work. And they see each other on the side, calling out shots to each other, and this is going to get real interesting real quick. Classic NA Dota right here, folks.
Yeah, Fogged feeling a little bit lost, as I imagine many of the players in this fine game are.
Where's the rune?
Yeah, remember the bounty runes? And here we go. Bounty rune up top for the Pink Panda. Look, he'll get a little bit of extra gold. A little bit of extra experience. Now, the way the bounty rune works, you get a base 50 XP, 50 gold for it, and then it scales for every minute into the game. And I believe it's 2 gold times the current minute plus the initial 50, and then 5 experience times the current minute plus the initial 50. So it does add up, and towards the later portions of the game, you can get 100, 150 gold coming up for those bounty runes, and they fill up the bottle to its entirety. None of that 1/3, 2/3 bullshit. You get a full one.
You know, players getting a little rambunctious about having to play on this patch. Mike feeling that the creep wave movement's not as it used to be. He didn't have the best block that he ideally would like here. He's going to be playing your Nature's Prop. We didn't really get the chance to do the introductions for this game just yet, so I'll just kind of start things off. Sneaky Nyx Assassins on your Radiant side. It is IX Mike, the Mustache Fiend himself, playing your Nature's Prophet in that off lane, something we've come to know for a long time now. In the mid lane, it is going to be Mr. TC playing your Brewmaster. Might have to be careful here. We got Way 2 coming in from the north, gets the Fisher off, blocks him in here, and this might be your first blood. Throws down the clap, but can he turn the corner here? Nice body blocks. Please smell my butt, sir, as I'm not going to allow you to get by here, and they do. Take him down. Snake King draws your first blood. Rounding out the rest of your introduction, it is Whitebeard on your Enigma in that jungle. And bottom lane, we got Derp playing your Vengeful Spirit, and finally, Ush going to be playing your Invoker.
Yeah, safe lane Exort Invoker here already has that Sunstrike ready to rock and roll. Dire side, we've got Team Navi US, the team down 0-1 in this best of 3 and are now 1 game away from elimination in this season of Starladder. It'll be Korok on the first ever Legion Commander in competitive Dota, joined by Fog on the Wisp. And Fog, look, if you click on Wisp, are you missing, does he not have a face for you either? His portrait is just, it's an empty...
Well, he didn't have a face to begin with, Zywari. I mean, let's put that out there, but yeah,
it's an empty Wisp. It's just a dark portal and inside the brain of the Wisp. Oh, there we go, he popped up. Snake King on the Viper, we saw him get first blood. MJW on the offlane Centaur, and Way 2, tagged up as Pink Panda, will be here on the Earthshaker support in a way.
So, you know, it looks like they're going to try some sort of early combo factor with the Wisp and the Legion Commander, and given you can relocate in and get an instant duel off, that would be a nice way to set things up, so that's something to look out for and could be scary real quick. Korok, we saw him last game, you know, he had a promising start, got to get a lot of early kills, but then kind of fell off. But Legion Commander, if you're able to get those early kills, the damage will begin to stack up, and next thing you know, you're dealing with a Legion Commander who's got like plus 150 damage and is going out of control as far as being a core.
Yeah, absolutely. A hero that can scale very well towards the late game, and The little bit of patch analysis I did with Hani and some of the other Koikva as well as Misery, I'm talking about the real power of LC is the press the attack and overwhelming odds, both of which got nerfed a little bit, and they were all a little skeptical as to how significant the nerfs would be, whether that would kind of level her out or if she'd still be that kind of broken force in terms of lane presence. So I guess kind of time will tell. He is now level 2, holding on to that second skill point, just 1 in overwhelming odds for now, and will intercept the creep wave here, the pull camp from Derp, leech a little bit of XP, and snipe a few last hits.
And Way 2 still trying to roam about a bit right here. Top lane kind of juking and driving here, seeing if he can catch IX Mike, getting a little too far outside of his comfort zone in this off lane. But for himself personally, 9-0. CS is, fair for an off laner this early into the game, so he's finding something, getting it done, whether it be with his Treants or not. And on the opposite side, though, for Vengeful Spirit, not really getting a whole lot for herself, just trying to get the creep equilibrium in their favor. Ush on his Invoker, 13-1, not always the best that you'd like, but as far as CS Kings go, it's Centaur and Viper, both matching 20, now Viper 21.
Yeah, good news for Navi US. Of course, we'll see Sneaky Nyx Assassins with a slightly more efficient laning phase, all because of Whitebeard here. Enigma in the jungle means, well, you just open up a little bit more flexibility, and there you see it on the experience graph. 500 in favor of our Radiant side, but the gold is going the way of Navi US, as you mentioned, because of that CS difference. Korok is not really farming that well. He'll find himself into a bounty rune here, so finds a little bit of extra gold, but only 13 last hits on this LC. Definitely not where he wants to be, as Invoker finds even more space to farm as they pick up the rune.
Yeah, he needs to focus on getting that XP, get that level 6 sooner than later, really try to take advantage of it. The pickoff potential with it is just oh so nice. And, well, speaking of pickoffs here, Way 2 looking to make a revisit towards this mid lane here. TC going to play a little more cautiously. He's going to scout out actually with the illusions. He sees Way 2. Very nice use of those, and will not be caught out this go around. And I can't help but feel like, I'm thinking a little ahead here, maybe thinking a little too hard, but if this game goes south quickly for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, maybe they don't end up losing the series. Do they get frustrated that the patch dropped and just kind of screwed them over? They felt a lot more confident with their 6.81 play style, Yeah. I hope it doesn't come to that, but, that's just one of those things. Unfortunately, Valve with their timing, dropping the big patch bomb in the middle of a series, it can make things rough for these players.
Yeah, Snake King with a Viper Strike out on TC in the mid. Won't be able to bring him down, but harasses him out of lane. We'll find an earlier level 6 than the Brewmaster. I feel like for LC, we can't really judge it too much until that level 6 comes out. That's when she'll be able to start grabbing momentum, and same with the Wisp, who is now level 3. Way 2 comes in, fissure forward onto Derp. Korok taking a lot of damage, but will heal himself up and trying to head for the hills. Derp taking a lot of damage, will finally go down. And now they're just trying to make the escape. Fog will get hit by the Sunstrike, and that makes it a 1-for-1 Vengeful Spirit for Wisp.
Nice return kill. Ush manned up. He knew that he was not being the target, but now they want more here. They're making it go on Korok. Korok, meanwhile, gets caught in the trees with Whitebeard, uses the immediate tango to get away. Nice, quick, swift reaction there to get away from the tree prison, and quickly will retreat out. So not going to get caught out from that one. Does still end up being a 1-for-1 trade, but yeah, man, Ush, nice land of that Sunstrike, gets the return support kill.
Yeah, but now so much space being given to this Centaur, who's really farming well. Mid lane, TC does have a primal split, and he'll be forced to use it as Fog does rotate in, try and help Snake King. Boulder comes out onto Fog. He'll take a lot of punches from the primals.
Oh, no.
And nothing Snake King can do about it. He's stuck inside of the Cyclone. That will be the end of Fog. A solo kill for the Brewmaster, and Snake King will just get caught in yet another tornado. MJW here with a hoof stomp. Does have 3 points in the double edge, as well as an ultimate that's already been used, so stuck on, or he doesn't have an ultimate, that's what I was trying to say, stuck on cooldown. But Centaur well on his way to a fast Blink Dagger, as he's had almost free farm in this top lane. 39 last hits compared to the 16 of Mike's Nature's Problem.
That was just overall a very sticky situation there for Fog. Back-to-back takedowns. He went to the mid lane. He was trying to trade bottles with Snake King, taking advantage of that lingering fountain and being able to fill up both bottles, but the engagement happened soon after, so he's still holding 2 bottles, trying to return it back to Snake King right here. But I was always saying, and I said this during our patch analysis, that I felt Wisp was going to be a great hero as far as supports. He's already one that typically picks up a bottle early, and now you have 2 runes to work with and bottling up. He's just really good about taking advantage of that. Meanwhile, mid lane, they jump in, they get the stun off Sunstrike, and yeah, Snake King going to get blown the hell up. Black Hole wasn't even necessary, but it definitely secures the kill as they take down that prize mid laner.
Yeah, certainly right there, and better safe than sorry with that early Black Hole. All these rotations giving Ush some space in the bottom lane. He's now found a lot of last hit recovery with 37 CS. And well on his way to a hand of Midas. Has Gloves of Haste already. IX Mike will get scouted out by Fogged, and he'll just TP back home. Safe lane farm now going the way of Korok, just looking for his level 6, and a couple of creep kills off of it. Centaur will move into the jungle to find a little bit of that last farm towards the Blink Dagger, and we can't forget Blink Dagger is now 100 gold more expensive. Viper Strike on Ush down in the bottom lane. He'll be forced to TP home, but will survive against the Viper.
Yep, plays it safe for now. Just that pesky TP, a common counter. Also worth the note, TP only costs 100 gold now. Yeah. No longer 135. So no more excuses out of your local pub playing teammates that they shouldn't be buying a TP. It's only 100 gold.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a haste there on the bottom rune, which means the bounty rune was on the top, and was swiftly picked up there from the brew. So.
Yep.
Nice swift grab right there, and, well, it returns them back to this bottom lane, and we're just kind of back to square one. 3-2 your score, slight advantage for the Sneaky Nyx Assassins, as well as the gold. You could see just nearly near the 1K mark.
Yep. A little bit of an advantage in their favor, and I guess the other big change worth reiterating here is that the glyph resets every time you lose a Tier 1 tower. So pushing back-to-back Tier 1 towers, as we've seen with the kind of death ball meta recently, not a possibility, or at least a difficult possibility at that. We'll see how that kind of extends this early laning phase and prevents towers from falling. As Brewmaster pulling up for his Blink Dagger, Snake King will take a Magic Missile, but follow-up won't be there, and TC will just back out, taking some right clicks. Does have a Primal Split available, but doesn't need to use it here quite yet. 600 gold, or pardon me, 700 gold away from his Blink Dagger.
Yep, well, we got a smoke happening here for the side of Navi US, looking to make a heavy rotation into the opposing jungle here, see if they can scout anyone out. There is a nearby Ush standing, but they're potentially going to go to the left side here, and they might run into Whitebeard. Whitebeard obligated to instead go for these neutrals. Might be caught from behind right here. Dual set to stun. There goes your global. Whitebeard now. Hit with the future. Hit with the stun. Fog got the balls, and he throws it in his face, and they go ahead and just fall. So Enigma drops just like that and allows Navi US to even things up 3-3.
Yeah, not really so much the Enigma could do against all that pressure. And now they'll just clear out his camp and head back to safety. That'll be a Blink Dagger secured onto the Centaur. And Navi US will just pressure the Tier 1 tower. Sunstrike almost hits MJW, but he will be able to gallop his way back to safety.
Yeah. Tier 1 should be able to be easily secured here, but big Wraith of Nature going to keep him back right now. And you know, and this was something that was said in Merlini's patch analysis about that fortification is, you know, you should be using now the fortification primarily on the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane, considering the fact you're just going to get it back anyways. It's almost a guarantee you should be popping it when you're going to be losing a tower. They save it for now. The tower relatively close to the deny mark, but not quite there.
Yep. Korok has found his level 6, still being very quiet. Looks like he will consider pulling towards a fast Blink Dagger, 1,200 gold following his power treads. Could be a number of items, but it seemed to be the build that most of the pro players I talked to were confident would take over the competitive scene with the Legion Commander. So gap closer, very important to get off those duels, and Fogged just now finds his level 6. Relocate becoming a possibility. Opens up some more options here for this LC, who is yet to use a duel and find any of that permanent extra damage.
And we'll see if they do take advantage of that. As top lane, he continues to farm it out a bit on his solo. Mike and Whitebeard going to be doing their own dual set of farm here on their ancient camp. And for bottom lane, it's just kind of the Viper Centaur duo weighing it out. He does have that global Stampede ultimate ready to go if they want to engage on someone here. But for now, all is quiet on the western front.
Yeah, everybody just sitting back farming. There is a 1 Midas to 0 advantage for the Radiant side. Of course, it is Ush's Invoker. He's now gone back for his phase boots, has his Basilius up, and just doing pretty standard stuff. I reckon he'll be looking towards a Necro Book, probably a Force Staff, and stay in line with what we see most Exort Invokers do. Smoke rotation into the Dire Jungle from Derp and Whitebeard. Black Hole at the ready. Still no mech on the Enigma, but we'll have it soon. Fogged. Maybe in some trouble here. They'll break down the tree line. Malefice comes out. Magic Missile's there. Sunstrike as well as the Black Hole. That's a lot committed to just a little wisp. Now Korok on the run. Derp, no mana for the Magic Missile, and it looks like Korok will be okay. TP's coming in to support. Fissure will connect on to Derp. Korok's there with the overwhelming odds, and will they find this kill? Yeah, they should. Centaur hops forward, waits for the double edge until Korok can get off the duel. That'll be his first bout of damage. It will cost Centaur's life, and it looks like it'll cost Korok as well. Sneaky Nyx Assassins with the turnaround.
Very nice stuff. Not much happened here on the bottom lane. Snake King continues to farm it up on that Viper. Looks like he's going forward towards the mech rune, or sorry, not the mech rune, the mechanism, which, like I said before, was nerfed down a bit. Going to cost a bit more mana, which is, you know, Viper isn't the smartest hero on the block, but he has a big enough man pool to make advantage of it still. So not really deterring too much from your common, I guess, Viper item build path. But for now, they're just kind of scouting it out, questioning whether or not the bounty rune is spawning. But it is. It is for sure. And bottom lane, it looks like way too might be caught out. Mike TP's right in and gets the Sprout off. Fisher going to hold him in his place, but Ush steps right in and gets the the easy pickoff right there. Now dominating on this Invoker. Ush. Midas in hand as well, nearly 1K. This guy is farmed.
Yeah, definitely so. Staff of Wizardry could either be the Necro Book or the Force Staff, but #1 on net worth, that's what's really important, is now Korok in the mid lane, presses forward, has a duel ready. They'll go in onto TC. Double Edge starts it off. Derp Derp with the swap out. Now Korok gets stunned in tower range. They'll use a defensive Stampede to ensure their survival. Way2's coming back in, has the Fissure at the ready, will connect on 3, but Korok, even though he presses his attack, he will still retreat as he takes a lot of damage. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, looks like the tower has gone down already. And, yeah, that'll be a tower kill going the way of Navi US. Korok taking a lot of damage. MJW goes in, does a lot of damage, but takes a lot in return. They will lose the Centaur. Korok getting healed up from the Tether heal of the Wisp, but not enough to keep him up overall. And it will be a 2-0. And Sneaky Nyx Assassins grabbing a lot of momentum here, Cattle Guy. They're not done yet. They dive onto Fogged. And this 5-hero rotation should yield a Tier 1 tower kill.
So it looks like, as it stands right now, the Sneaky Nyx Assassins, with not too much of an unorthodox draft from what we've seen during our 6.81 time, really making it worth their while right now. But
taking kind of an awkward path in this new area of the map. Maybe he doesn't know where to go, and well, it will cost him his life. He'll get stuck in the Sprout, no way to clear the trees. Unstoppable streak now out for Ush. Now, there is something we have to remember. There were changes to streak gold ending. So I believe now in situations where one team is very far ahead, there is potential for the other side to get crazy amounts of gold. It has to do with your net worth now. So if it's one of those situations where a lot of heroes die, then a support gets a solo kill when there's no one else around on a net worth hero, you can get like a 2,500 gold bounty in an extreme scenario.
Yeah. So that's got to be, I would hope, something that Navi US are thinking about right now, especially when they have the surprise factor of your Wisp relocate and something like an LC. You know, the target might have to be Ush at this point. He's already building up a nice bounty for himself, and if it's going to be that much better in this patch, they might need it for the comeback factor. So we'll see if it happens. If it does, what kind of significant amount of gold might be coming their way, as what he's got 6-0 right now, so a 6-kill streak for Ush right now. He's doing great, and after a brief Skype issue, it looks like we're going to get right back into the game.
Yep, and not a moment too soon here, as we'll see a bounty rune bottled up. 78 gold goes the way of TC, and finds some extra experience off of it. Certainly won't complain about getting a nice little pretty penny there for his troubles, as the Blink Dagger finally comes out on LC. And this is where I feel like Korok really has some opportunities to set up some big duels and start stealing even more damage. Only 10 bonus damage right now, but we're just getting started.
And it looks like for Mike on his Nature's Prophet, he's going to be going the Necro Book. Kind of a route, you know, wants to go with the standard, more push heavy, take advantage of your own summoned army right now to take down objectives, take down towers, and just kind of go more standard as far as Nature's Prophet is concerned. Ush, you know, also a Necro Book. So we got some serious Necro Book gaming happening here on the side of Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and that could be something very scary for Navi US.
And it is only the Tier 1 towers that reset the glyph when they go down, not the Tier 2s, not the Tier 3s. So that change was just to quell the very early pushes that come out. Tier 2 towers did get an armor buff of an extra 5, which should help make a difference. Top Tier 1 tower will get finished off by the Dire. No Deny comes out. Whitebeard with a black hole at the ready, looking for an opening, but won't be able to find it as Navi US throw out a Fissure and blink back to safety. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Glyph is used as Snake King pressures the tower pretty hard, and yeah, there you go.
There it goes to use right there. They had just used the Glyph at the top lane. They get to use it again in the mid lane, but there is action also. Jump in, slam coming out. Snake King, though, under the gun right now. Brewmaster rips him apart with the help of Ush and that Sunstrike. Now they want MJW, who's trying to retreat off to the right-hand side, but can't get away from the Sprout. They're going to be right-click down. Double kill coming out for TC right now, and this army looking to go right down the mid lane. And, well, we'll see. Still, Navi US trying to get a hold of some of those sweet bounty bonuses, but for now, just it's proven to be much too difficult.
Yeah, you see Mike asking, there is the Invoker died, and Wisp was the one that got the last hit, and asking how much gold he actually got, but it says 699. I imagine that that's close. Oh, Fogged has 1,800 gold.
What?
How much did he get from that?
Wow. I'm not too sure.
He got at least like, yeah, he bought something. He got 2K gold for that kill
wow.
because he ended the streak.
Oh,
you
man.
see it from Fogged right there. 2,000 fucking gold, ladies
Too bad
and gentlemen.
it's on a Wisp. Had that been on like your Legion Commander, maybe even your Viper, anyone else, it could have been an Earthshaker. Got to get on a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, that would have been much better on Earthshaker. But the difference is it takes the difference in your net worth. So if LC gets the kill, she has pretty high net worth with the Blink and all the other items she's picked up already. So that's why it's such a huge gap when it's someone like an Invoker who has all of these items, a Necrobook level 2 Midas Phase Boots, and the Wisp who has literally boots in a bottle.
Well, now he's got 2,300 gold.
All of a sudden, yeah,
like,
it's a...
he could get a mech. He could just about get a mech if they need it. But they have the Viper who's already built one, so...
he just right-clicks some Vlads. Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's going to be a huge help for the Legion Commander now, and you also got to consider even the Centaur Warrunner and the Earthshaker. So, well, there's that comeback factor, I guess, coming into play for 6.82. A lot of people very skeptical about that being in the game.
Yes.
There it is.
There have been some very vocal opponents of said changes, and even Fogg sort of, he was the recipient of it, sort of questioning, I'm not really sure if this is okay.
I just got a sweet inheritance from my grandmother or something. It just like kind of worked out in my favor, and well, I guess he's happy.
Yeah. Well, mech is coming out on both sides, one on the Enigma, one on the Viper, but 2 level 3 Necronomicons for the Radiant side. This is something to be wary of, and they still do quite a bit of damage. I believe it's just magical damage now from the last will. Then it no longer goes through BKB, so it is one of the changes of damage type for Korok. He'll get initiated on. Stampede flies through. Will he be able to survive, though? Blink Dagger coming up in just a couple of seconds. Sunstrike will interrupt the Blink, and that should be the end of the LC.
Nice Sunstrike from Ush, just in the nick of time to prevent him from being able to TP potentially into the trees and get that TP off, or Blink rather in the trees to get that TP off, but, you know, unable to get away from that one. Just Ush on point right now with this Invoker play, and still Navi US trying to take advantage of being able to get some of this comeback factor. Bottom lane, they're doing a bit of a split push here, doing a little bit of damage on this tier 2, but here comes TC with Primal Sprit ready to go. Might consider going for defense. Nope, nope. Snake King will TP out of this one, so we'll see. Top lane, though, bit of an army build-up here between both Mike. Here's your relocate. First big one of the game, and it's going to be with Centaur. Stump's going to fly up here, and Mike going to be taken down just like that. Self-Sprout not going to be quite enough, and
it's a Necro army, though. Double Necro books up here as Invokers inbound, and Snake King taking a lot of damage. He'll get tethered and relocated out just in the nick of time. I think there was a chance for these Necro units to actually secure a kill. Now in the bottom lane, TC initiated on by the Fogged Wisp and Snake King Viper duo. He will survive, but looking to reinitiate. Still has the Primal Split available, and this time has an Enigma with him. Black Hole at the ready. No gap closer on Whitebeard except his ability to move, and that'll be it. Just throws out a Malefice, and they will retreat.
Is this path right here new? This one over here on the bottom lane, I'm like circling it like crazy right now. This right here, is that trees falling? Is that a new path? Because he conveniently got to just walk down that alley
looks like
to
a
get
new
away.
Path. I don't
so
see
he got to walk
stumps.
right through that alley instead of having to take your typical up above the road path. I don't think that was enough to really help him out there, but just one of those little things that can kind of help out. And Mike's like, I hate that path, and spawns some treants right there.
Yeah,
takes it down.
You know, I'm thinking about that big kill. Why did net worth not really change that much? I guess because they picked up, like, Snog grabbed a couple of kills when they killed the Invoker, but I feel like a 2,000 gold swing going to Fog should have impacted the net worth graph a lot more than not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's something that's been updated in the system, or maybe
I
it's
wonder
not
if the graph is actually updating appropriately, but now just food for thought.
All right, bottom lane. Congregation coming out here for the sneaky Nyx assassins. They looking to go for the tower right now and jumping all the way back. They use a defensive stampede to get away from the added pressure, and it's going to be the tier 2 that's going to be the target right now as they look to take it down. And yeah, no glyph available. They're going right for it. Brewmaster using that Primal Split to zone him all the way back, and the tier 2 does fall. So your Nature's Prophet, Necrobook, and Invoker Necrobook Gaming doing really nice with objectives, but the swift stun from the Magic Missile prevents MJW from getting his own stun off. Still trying to hunt it out. Derp taking advantage of this funky new path, but can't get away from that one. Fisher and the big slash going to be able to take down your VS, and still, they want more. Taking out these Necro books, that little bit of extra bounty doesn't hurt. 200 gold, 200 gold. Look like both going towards Korok right there, who has that armlet now complete. And with the broadsword in hand, this could potentially, imagine, be a Crystallis?
Blade Mail, I think, is
Blade
probably
Mail,
the most likely. That was the other item that Hani in particular is. I think Blade Mail is still a pretty core item on this hero. So this is sort of the trio of items that make most sense on LC, but still only 20 stolen damage, so not a huge amount. Dire Courier did go down, so a little bit of extra gold going the Radiant's way. They'll move into the Roche pit, but they'll just as quickly flee as well, Roche looking pretty meaty here.
You're in there. It's new. You're kind of uncomfortable with the idea of where Roche is. It's so tiny, as Fog points out. You're like, well, if we commit in there, it's like someone's body could linger outside the fog, and it'll just be a dead giveaway. That's not going to happen. And Mike just scoffing at him like, we went with our old standard kind of a draft, and it's really paying off for us right now, which, well, to be honest, it kind of is. 14-7 your score. Advantage for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, gold and XP. They're both well in their favor.
Mid lane, they'll jump on the Snake King. TC goes forward. Thunderclap, crit to the face. He'll try to TP home, but another swap is there. Right into a Malefice, and that'll bring down the Viper. Now maybe it's Sneaky Nyx Assassins who move towards the Roche pit, if they can find it.
I think they'll find it just fine as they begin to shift right in there and get it done. Oh, convenient bounty rune as they pick it up, that little bit of extra sweet golden XP in the pocket of TC here, and they look to go at it. But MJW right there in the high ground, this is a really tiny pit. This is... He moved out of his old home and he moved into like a 300-square-foot apartment right here. This thing is tiny. The kitchen's inside the living room. It's disgusting. But, hey, the job's going to get done here. This is going to be your first Roche takedown of the new pit. But look at that, blinking. You look to try to take it, but it's not going to be so lucky. It is Radiant to get the kill, and it is Ush.
Black Hole up on top to Korok. They'll just bring down the LC. Wisp was tethered to the Centaur, and they'll use that opportunity to bring down the Legion Commander. Just a 1-0. They got Roche, and Aegis of the Immortal did get picked up by the Invoker. So it looks like Mike will have a quick reset here. Things continuing to go well for the Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and a Blink Dagger has been picked up by the Invoker. One thing we haven't mentioned is Primal Split's been used, and Na'Vi US are in full retreat. Fogged might actually get caught here. This could be a little scary.
We'll see if he can get away. He does have Relocate available if it does come to that, but with a bear nearby and a rock in his pocket ready to throw it out, you got to be careful about that one, but I'm sure Na'Vi US not too happy with how their draft has been unfolding here, really trying to take advantage of Korak's Legion Commander, but only sporting a 0-4 record and only 20 bonus damage thus far. It's not the place you really want to be. So, but with this new bounty gold put into the game, like anything could happen, I suppose, but I mean, we'll have to see how long it is. I mean, this is tournament life right now for Na'Vi US, so they might just have to fight it out to the bitter end.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, what a crazy game it's been so far. And this is just the beginning, Cuddle Guy. It's going to get crazier.
It's going to get hairy. I mean, people have to understand this is a new experience, not just for the players. It's new for us. We don't really know what to expect as far as drafts, as far as heroes and pickups, and it's clearly uncomfortable for some of the players, and other players, they're just happy with go with the old tried and true, and it still works out for them. So we have lots of tournament games still coming for the rest of the day, and there's going to be a long period of people really trying to work out the kinks of this new 6.82.
Korok right here with the logic. Joke's on you. The more we feed, the more gold we get. So, I mean, there is some truth to that. I mean, does this open up possibilities for
feed the support,
feeding strat here?
Feed the enemy support, and we'll easily take them down later.
Just kill him, and all of a sudden you get these huge 2,000 gold bounties. I did get a PM from someone telling me that it's actually gold net worth, not individual. So I was mistaken about that one, I think. So I guess what I said about the Wisp, it doesn't matter. It's whoever gets that last hit is I don't know. It's just craziness, but.
So a brief unpause just to make sure we kill that Wisp.
Kill Wisp and realize, oh crap, Whitebeard's not here.
Whitebeard's not here.
Sorry,
we have
Fog.
an AFK and Big Clowny, but a bit unfortunate as Fog points out.
Whitebeard is almost at a BKB, which is good stuff for this Enigma. And it's okay. You get another 2,000 gold. Oh, boy.
Well, we're going to get the game back and underway here. And for Sneaky Nyx Assassin looking in fantastic shape in this game number 2 of a best-of-3. They're just going to keep keep piling on the extra pressure that they've had. I mean, you got your Necro 3s now complete here. Mike's got about 900 gold in the bank available here. I mean, where do you go from here as a Nature's Prophet? Do you try to enhance your pushing prowess even further, or?
Yeah, I think the tried and true kind of Maelstrom build is still pretty solid. Maelstrom did get nerfed. The recipe is now 100 gold and more, but I still think a worthy item still brings a lot to the table. Synergizes well with the Prophet. Even just moving into a Scythe of Ice might not be a bad option, but with the Gloves of Haste, I reckon he will just go in for the Chain Lightning procs bouncing around like
it doesn't trigger Lincolns anymore.
Whoa!
Wow.
All right,
I don't think anyone's getting a Lincolns anytime soon, though. But
yeah,
fun fact, I guess you could say, for your new Maelstrom and Mjolnir pickups.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. Well, both sides will take a turn for the passive here as they just go into farm and some Ancients. TC has picked up his Vladimir's offering now following the Blink Dagger. No Aghanims coming out for him, and now with a Plate Mail, Chain Mail duo, probably a good sign that Assault Kuras will be his next item of choice.
Yep, and we'll see where we're going. Well, I can't help but feel like for Poor Way 2, this has been a struggle for him. Maybe finally he's 100 gold away from getting that blink, but about 25 minutes in, that is not where you want to be. Yeah. Given that this could still be a game changer for Navi US, being able to have that big blink in initiation from your Earthshaker and being able to get something off with the Echo Slam, given it's only level 1 right now. You gotta hope. I mean, maybe I'm grasping at straws here for Navi US, but every little bit does certainly help. And, well, they're making a go. MGW, they force him right back into the fray right here. Midnight Pulse going to be popped out as he also pulls out his own Stampede to get away and will successfully step away from that engagement.
Yep, Centaur lives. TC with a Haste Rune doesn't want to pursue it, but is now just a Hyperstone away from his big pushing item. Invoker, it looks like he'll be the one to go for a Scythe device. Ultimate Orb picked up there as Sneaky Nyx Assassins rotate towards the top lane and will commence a 5-man push to take out the last remaining outer tower for the Dire side. This is tier 2 in the top lane, but here you go, man. Way 2 finally gets his Blink Dagger.
Yep. Whitebeard, no Black Hole available yet. 30 more seconds before he has the Luscious Ultimate, but
Fresh
for everyone
BKB.
Else, they got all these creeps and critters out in the field to take down this tower. And I mean, this is a prime target for an Echo Slam, but they're not going to go for any sort of defense just yet. They're just going to opt to maybe resort to maybe going for a more high ground defense as the pressure continues to build up for them. Trying to get a split push happening here. Bottom lane, Korok going for this tier 2, sees the TP come in and swiftly blinks out from danger.
Yeah, TC won't be able to secure a deny, still at a range, but we'll be able to find some farm down here. Being very cautious as Navi US set the trap. Korok hiding in the tree line here, fogged nearby on the Wisp, and the trap will not be sprung, at least not yet as TC positioning himself very cautiously. You see him kind of dancing by the tower. I can't tell if that's lag or if he was spamming that hold key. Maybe it was
it's lag.
Former.
Here's your answer. It's lag, as we're going to have to see. I don't know. This could be incoming potential hot fixes from Valve side, tweaking with the servers a bit. It could be pretty much anything, but we're coming to expect. It's an exciting moment to get 6.82 up and on its feet, but it's having a hard time walking at the start right now. So as there's going to be shaky moments with not just the players and casters and everyone adjusting to what's to come, but there's potential bugs and hot fixes I would imagine that are going to be coming in here. So
Mike can't remember where he put all of his packets.
They're lost.
They're lost into the nether realm, stuck between the couch cushions, under the recliner. Oh, boy. Item progression. It will indeed be the Maelstrom coming out for Nature's Prophet. Now just a recipe away. Dire side, not too much else in terms of item progression. Snake King looking towards the Aghanim Scepter and just about 100 gold off, so that'll be a big one for him. I wonder what Korok's going to go for next, though, and maybe that's where you start looking towards the crit coming out next here. Oh, yeah, there are new chat wheels. Yeah,
good game. Well played. The game was good.
There are some pretty funny ones that they added, actually. See, I thought I had it open, but I guess not. So we will resume, though. Hopefully the lag does commence. Oh, my favorite one, Zeus, alt now. Perfect on the chat wheel because, you know, sometimes you just need to share that with your allies.
Even if there's no Zeus in the game to begin with. All right, Korok and Fogged hand in hand have to retreat back from this bottom lane before they get potentially caught out here. But TP's to the top lane here, just more separation and farm continuing here. More pressure continues on Navi US to just find the farm they so desperately need here. And we got a bit more time before the Roche is going to be back up here. Even the clock is like, is it me or is it rotated differently now?
Did they rotate it?
It looks like it's like rotated.
I can't tell. They rotated the pit, so that's kind of playing with me. Relative to the pit, it is rotated. So I don't know.
My brain's all scrambled eggs with this new kind of setup right now, but there we go.
Korok hops in onto the Prophet, but The Prophet will be able to blink back to safety, and Korok will just clear up the Ancients. So yeah, this is just more of a classic build from IX Mike. The Necro into Blink Maelstrom. Yeah, classic Rat Dodo.
Well, we haven't had to pull out just yet. Bottom lane, though. They're going to go relocate gank coming in. Might be able to get derp. This would be a pickoff they could desperately use right now. Brew already in primal split form. Might have to pull out a retreat here to get away from this one. And, well, one more bear stands, it looks like, as the relocate's going to send Fog right back where once he came. But here comes the cavalry here as Whitebeard shows up, pops his BKB. Is he going to drop the R-Hammer? He will. Black Hole's going to catch on two. Chaos Meteor, Deafening Blast. Snake King. Now big pressure. Fisher, well, it's going to put Snake King in a corner, and, well, he's going to get right-click down. That's not going to work out too well. Ends up being a 2-for-1 trade. Much, much better and in favor for sneaky Nyx Assassins as they only lose their support VS.
There's that Invoker Enigma duo, and boy, does it hurt in a situation such as that. Not much that they could have done, and no outer towers remaining. I guess they'll set their sights potentially towards high ground here. Whitebeard and Ush are all grouped up. They make some Eidolons, have some Forged Spirits down, and we'll just shove this wave into the base, but we'll just count their blessings and be happy to retreat, knowing that they took a good exchange there. They clear out the Dire Ancients. I still can't get used to this area of the map. It's so different. Ush will clear it out, though, and he's pretty close to his scythe. That's what he's pulling up his gold for. But this may set him back a little bit. Echo Slam flies through. The Fissure to follow up, and the Blink Brothers are in town, and they'll bring down the Invoker.
3K. I mean, it says on screen
4K!
435 gold. Wait, what? 1,600 gold now on Earthshaker.
All right, well, here's a Crimson Guard picked up.
Wow, the first Crimson Guard of the game. And it is going to be in the Centaur's hands like I was, expecting to be. And now he's just that much bigger and bulkier, and he can add that extra bit of durability to the rest of his team. I mean, I like it.
Wow. I can't believe how much gold you get from ending these streaks. It's just insane. I also feel like the graph is really not reflecting it. Look at it following that. That should be more than 4,000 gold net worth. It's like a little ding. I don't know. I'm losing faith in the graphs here, Coddle Guy.
Yeah, and the thing is like the on-screen text shows a different amount as far as the bounty goes down. I don't know if that is that.
That might be what the graph takes, even though that they get more gold. It's weird. I'm not sure exactly what to make of that. But the Crimson Guard, I'm going to be curious to see how much of a difference this makes. It's basically just a pumped-up Vanguard, and the use just gives you a Vanguard buff to your allies again. It's for 9 seconds, 100% chance to block 50 damage. So that's a pretty significant amount of right-click damage that it absorbs, and that's across your whole team. And I think it's a 900 area radius, so kind of like a pipe for physical damage.
It's more physical damage, but you look at the other team, and it's not a whole lot of physical damage there. Your Invoker, I mean, the pipe might have been better pick in this game, personally. I mean, that's just my own 2 cents here, but for now, jump forward. MJW looking to go on Dub. With that new extra inheritance of money, can they burst down the support? And they do. They take down one. Now looking to retreat out with just what they got here, but it looks like sneaky Nyx Assassins are not going to be able to pursue. So 2 swift back-to-back takedowns in favor of Navi US. I mean, is the comeback really going to be real with the benefit of all that extra gold? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, the LC, I have to admit, has been the most disappointing part of this game. We're 31 minutes in now, and Korok still with only 20 stolen damage. Just would have hoped to see him snowballing a little bit more, have a lot more extra damage by now, but he's just been playing this more kind of passive farm game, and they haven't found too many big windows of opportunity for him to steal a whole lot of damage.
I mean, considering how low he is as far as the net worth goes, it's a bit unfortunate. Top lane, though, tries to jump in. The relocate's coming, but it's just a little too late as Mike, with his quick-witted reaction, blinks properly back and will thwart the incoming gank. But yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be their late-game core carry. And Korok, I know, he's a swole man. He's a manly man, but unfortunately just not finding the opportunities right now. Mike, though, jumps in with his own, quickly cuts down the trees as Korok makes his retreat up to the north and will be able to TP out.
Yep, meanwhile, though, in the jungle, TC jumps onto MJW. Enigma is inbound as the Midnight Pulse down. Ultimate from the Nature's Prophet flying through. That's the Crimson Guard buff. It looks pretty darn cool. And he'll just use that ultimate to move back to safety. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Snake King with the power of the Wisp will be able to click down the tower and get a little bit of extra gold going the way of Navi US.
Graph is beginning to dip a bit in the favor now of Navi US, and maybe sneaky Nyx Assassins are like, okay, maybe we need to start pushing harder. We need to get back to our roots. We got to pop these Necro books. We got to get this army out here. Look at all these things. There's just all sorts of critters and creeps now looking to go right into the base. They take the staircase, and that tier 3 is dropping awfully quick. They're forced to pull out the fortification, and Navi US might need to consider going for a big jump in Echo Slam if they gotta.
Snake King and Fog pushing the bottom tier 3 tower, and they won't be able to push quite fast enough, but maybe they can trade racks for racks. That would not be too bad for Navi US.
And they're going to get tier 3 down on the bottom.
Yeah, their melee still standing. Korok with his blade mail on will get force stab back as the primal split comes out. Fissure will connect on Ush, but right now the Panda is just zoning them out as they go hard on the barracks. The Legion Commander does end up falling off to the side. Now the Pink Panda. It's a double kill for TC. Tornado out onto the Centaur, and he'll just be isolated. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they TP back. They'll bring down Fog. Snake King will get interrupted as he tries to TP out. The cold snap is there from Ush. He'll turn on to IX Mike. The Nether Toxin really adding up. Finds the kill, but Ush will be able to go blow for blow with him. The Viper Strike is there, and now Snake King will be able to make the retreat.
How is he going to get out of here? There's no TP, and look who's coming in from the north. Oh, boy. Stampede trying to help him out, but hey, how's it going? I'm Enigma. There's your Malphus to your face, and I'm going to try to right-click you down here. Snake King, though, happy to man up right here. Knows he might be at his inevitable doom and will eventually fall. So really, nothing he can do to get out of that bind, and ends up falling. And it looked like a promising trade for Navi US. They had Fogged right there to be able to relocate if needed, but the swift TP coming in from Mike, and they quickly caught him out, and it was not going to be an easy escape from them.
Yeah. So tier 3 tower down bottom falls, and they do a lot of damage to the ranged racks, but obviously a great trade for the sneaky Nyx Assassins, and one step closer to perhaps a victory here, and one game away from the grand finals of the Starladder Season 10 America online portion to face off against EG. That chance to go to Kiev. Big items coming out on both sides of the coin, but it will be a BKB for IX Mike as we move into yet another pause here. And there's another big item I wanted to mention. I've forgotten. Oh, the BOT is coming out onto the Invoker. Looks like someone's still having some lag issues here.
Yep, and, well, as far as other things go, Centaur Warrunner picks up his Sage. This could be end up building into an Halberd. Yeah. I would imagine to maybe prevent the heavy right-click coming out from Nature's Prophet. I guess anyone who could pretty much put out some damage. So
yeah, Halberd's just a good casual item, but the disarm is just kind of comes in handy in general.
Yeah,
if, someone's getting clicked down there. Isn't that obvious carry though that you're going to want to disarm? Like your anti-mage or someone like that. So it is an interesting item pickup. I would have thought he'd just go straight like into a heart or something for some raw durability.
I mean, it does add a fair amount of strength to him. He's got 2,300 life currently to work with, so he's a tanky boy. But tank's only going to get you so much. As we approach the late game, it's going to come down to your ability to wave clear, prevent these big pushes coming in from all these necro books, and well, trying to get some pickoffs.
I like Fogged here. Jesus,
Mike,
dude.
He can't go a game without making some sort of jab at Union Gaming.
Oh my gosh. Well, Fog, though, I mean, he's certainly right. Somehow I'm rich. Blink Dagger, Vlad's, Urn, Bottle, Tranquils on a Wisp at 35 minutes.
For being 2 and 6.
Yeah, that's pretty solid stuff. The Dire Courier will get picked off as the Prophet does TP forward. No cargo, but still the second Courier snipe of the game, which will give even more gold to the Radiant side. Still holding on to their 10,000 gold, 8,000 experience advantage.
Yep, and well, we'll have to see how long it's going to be before the sneaky Nyx Assassins try to go for their own push. And, well, it looked like Navi US wanted to take a Roche from behind the SNA's back there, but those Forge Spirits quickly reveal that they're trying to get something going. And, well, that dire advantage, not as easy as it once was before as they get caught out and have to pull back. But top lane, they're getting a bit of split push happening. The Bash Brothers, I guess you could say, going towards this tier 2 tower. And, well, there's no one to contend it just yet.
Now it looks like Sneaky Nyx Assassins will just move up towards the bottom lane of barracks. The two Bash Brothers do have TP scrolls each and will be able to make it back, but TC goes right in onto Fog, doing as much damage as he can. Primal Split, Boulder Toss, and that'll be the end of the Wisp. Korok goes down simultaneously. A godlike streak for TC, looking at buybacks, looking pretty grim for the Dire side. Korok does have one, but they don't have a glyph this time. Tier 3 tower falls, and this will be a lane of barracks. Black Hole from Whitebeard on 2. MJW and Snake King caught inside. There's the meatball flying down. The Deafening Blast to follow up. Does a decent amount of damage, but now the Crimson Guard comes out, buys them some time. The dunk from Way 2. Now the swap out of the Enigma from Derp Derp. There's the duel from Korok onto IX Mike. Blade Mail's on, but it's just not enough. He won't find the kill, and he could end up paying with his life. They end up bringing down Mike. Doesn't get the damage for it. Barracks have already been cleared up, and now the LC will fall. Sneaky Nick's Assassins can just make a retreat at this point. They got what they came for, and looking even more grim for Na'Vi US.
Yep, so base heavily wounded at this point, and pretty much the ball is easily in the Sneaky Nick's Assassins' court, and now the next objective is just adding pressure to that top lane. And for Na'Vi US, I mean, at this point, what can you really do? I mean, we saw an example right there as Whitebeard jumps forward and gets the BKB at Black Hole off. You're just, the rest of the Na'Vi US team are just sitting there scratching their head waiting before they can even get anything off. There's no way to stop it from coming in, and you know, this is a team that wants to be able to engage and get some big team fights going, but now they have to consider being able to be in a proper position where they don't get caught out so easily. So it's really rough right now for Na'Vi US, and this could be the end of the road nearly for them in this Starladder.
Yeah, this is do or die. They need this win. And it's just going to be a tough road to start climbing, or tough mountain to climb. Halberd has been picked up on the Centaur, so that's the item we were talking about in progression for him. Snaking with his BKB available now. And remember, you can't rebuy BKBs anymore. Once you get down to that 5-second floor, that's it. That's all you've got.
Yeah, that's interesting to know.
You got to just be a little more cautious about those early BKB charges. You know, do you really want to use it? Because there's no getting it back.
Notice how many Blink daggers are in this game? There's 8, I believe, total. This is Blink Gaming at its finest right now.
Snake King and Derp Derp, the two oddballs out here.
The initiation is very much real from both sides. If you give him an inch, they'll try to take a whole mile as far as jumping in and taking the fight. So, you know, that's interesting to look out for because things can get hot and heavy real quick with all that heavy initiation on those Blink daggers. So
yeah. TC now moving into the heart of Tarask, it appears. Does have himself the Reaver. And there's your Black King Bar out on the Invoker. So even more magic immunity coming out after his Scythe of Ice, Blink, Necro Book trio of items. Just one lane of barracks left between a victory and certain, this game continuing and the certain defeat. And it looks like Sneaky Nick's Assassins will waste no more time as they do group up about the top. Black Hole up in 20 seconds.
Yep, and that's probably what they were waiting for right there. They want to make something happen. They could have tried to maybe sneak something out with the Roche, but they're looking to end this one as they begin to shuffle up this top lane right here. They're going to wait the last few seconds here for Enigma. Blink, ready to go. Black Hole now, ready to go. BKB online here. It doesn't get any better if they want it. They're even going to smoke up for this one, and MJW has to be cautious and careful. The positioning from Na'Vi US is going to be crucial on this one if they want to be able to hold the high ground and live to move on to another day.
And 2 buybacks were used in the last fight, still on cooldown. The Earthshaker as well as the Legion Commander as TC hops in. Primal Split right away, forces out the BKB onto Snake King. Will press forward, but there's a relocate back to the well from the Wisp. So that'll break up this fight a little bit. They'll start focusing down the Pandas, but their Tier 3 tower taking heavy damage. Glyph is available. Whitebeard being very patient here, looking for the proper opening. There's your Stampede. In comes the Pink Panda with the dunk. Does some decent damage to Mike, but he'll BKB and survive. Korok goes in by himself, and there's just not enough follow-up damage. Now the Black Hole from Whitebeard connects on 2. Korok dies off to the side. That isolates the rest of Na'Vi US. The GG is called regardless of the outcome of this fight as Snake King gets focused down. And that'll be it. It's the end of the Na'Vi US run in Starladder Season 10. And the Sneaky Nick's Assassins will be facing off against EG tomorrow in a best-of-5.
Condolences to Na'Vi US, unfortunately not being able to pull out. And, well, for I love the little neat counter back there. The Vengeful Spirit swap to prevent any sort of easy duels just made life that much harder for Korok. And we saw it right there, put him way past the mark because you're kind of committed to the duel at that point, and then you're well beyond the front gate of your base. So very rough start from top to bottom there for Na'Vi US, trying to pull out the first Legion Commander of the 6.82, but it was not successful.
Confirmed 0% win rate competitive. Uh-oh.
Rough. Yeah. And Terrorblade 100% ban rate, you know.
Yeah. The 2 interesting heroes that everyone's kind of keeping an eye out for. But boy, was that a fun. Whoops, oh, I'm out of date again. That's not quite the overlay I was looking for. That wraps up the coverage of this series. It was interesting. 2-0 for Sneaky Nick's Assassins, but wow, lucky us, man. First competitive game on the patch. It was a bundle of fun, and I'll be really excited just to see what the teams come up with over the next few days, next few weeks, and hell, even the next few months.
It's going to take a while to really see what's going to end up being the new meta, what the new Void, the new Skywrath, or maybe they'll just make their own proper return. But crazy stuff as, you know, we're going to be hogwash for a while trying to figure out how these teams are going to be drafting these lineups, and we got a lot more tournament games, a lot more casts to come, and, well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so plenty of Starladder still coming up, guys. SEA has 3 days left, and it's wrapping up over the next 3 days. EU group stage will continue on, and there is but one more best-of-5 series. EG will go into it with a 1-game advantage, so they are only 2 games away from a trip to Kiev for the Starladder Land Finals in Season 10, and that will be coming up tomorrow afternoon, right after Starladder EU complete. So it'll be just like today, EU right into America, and man, we're getting to the end of this season already. It's hard to believe, but that's it for us today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.